Hello guys and welcome to another speed build on the channel. Playing Sims 4 today, doing a little bit of a weird house. I will warn you, I've recorded this voiceover a couple times now. I was having audio issues like you wouldn't believe. So I tell you that not for pretty points necessarily, but because I might just like gloss over things that seem pretty important about this build because I can't remember now like what I've said and what I haven't. The last one I tried to record, it ended up corrupting anyway, but I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you anything about the house because I've said it so many times I can't remember what I've said and not. But the idea behind this house is that it's a tiny home, which I build a lot of, but this specific one is supposed to look very much not permanent. I very much wanted it to look like it could be pulled up really fast on a trailer and moved anywhere it wants to go. And the idea behind that was the person who lives here, who we'll meet in a different video later on the channel, really does travel with their tiny house a lot. And then they settle and then they sort of like satellite travel around. So like maybe they'll put it, on a tropical island for a while and then they'll satellite travel to all the different islands while always having a home base, or maybe they'll, manage to get it on a tanker overseas and then, travel for a little while, that kind of thing. Like this house just goes wherever they are. And the reason the outside looks so weird is because I was trying to mimic an RV park, not a trailer park necessarily, a little bit of a different thing. An RV park, I was thinking more like recreation. My granddad had a Class A motorhome, which is like the big bus looking ones, and he always had it parked down by the seaside. They had a little RV park and it was like teeny little plots, like kind of like maybe 3 parking spaces, like a grocery store parking lot wide, and like maybe 3.5 long, like pretty small, enough to have like a little yard near your motorhome and stuff. But people would decorate them up and it'd be super cute, and they'd have little like cabins and stuff on them. And the idea is like it's a place to park an RV, but it's a little more permanent. And so that's what I was trying to make it look like here. Like she had set up shop, but it was an RV park, so everything has to be able to be pulled up. So that's why the deck doesn't look super like put together, and the house looks really like small and like it could be folded up. And all the furniture, I tried to make it look, the house is up on platforms because I imagined there being like when it's a motorhome, it's called a basement, or like we used to call it a basement, and it's like under motorhome storage. It's where like the skirt would be on a semi kind of thing. And so I was kind of imagining that like where the platform is, underneath there is all storage when you put it up on a trailer. And so I was like, well, all of her outdoor furniture could get folded up nicely and put under there. And maybe the deck is like some buddies helped her build it, so they just know the deck will have to come down when and if she moves, but she stays for a few months, so it makes sense to put a little bit of effort in, And I left the decorations up this time because I keep knocking them down. I know it's not like the season anymore, but I keep taking them down for every build, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy the Love Day decorations this time. But yeah, so the idea behind it is the whole house is supposed to look like it could just pick up and move at any time, which to be honest doesn't make sense in this neighborhood because you can see more structured builds around, but it's cool. We can pretend. No one needs to know. I do like the idea of doing a ton of houses like this on a bigger lot and then having like 8 Sims all not related to each other all live in them. I think that'd be really fun. That might be a fun challenge just for like playing one Friday night or something. And then have a big community space in the middle. So like the community space could be more permanent looking, and then each of the houses could be, because there's a debug trailer. I should build these on a debug trailer. That would be really fun. Now I have ideas. But this house was inspired by the fact that I get up super early in the morning to go to work, and I work remotely, so when no one else is awake in the house, I usually just turn on whatever's on TV on in the background just to make enough noise that I'm not questioning what every single noise in the house is. And so lately it's been, I think it's Tiny House Nation, or Tiny Living. I don't know. It's on GAC, which I don't know much about that channel except every time I turn on, someone's either RVing or doing tiny houses, or there's one show called Aloha Builds, which I adore. They're hilarious. The brother and sister duo. They remind me a lot of what my brother and I would be like if we renovated houses and managed to not kill each other in the process. But I like this bathroom a lot. It's very simple. I tried really hard with the inside of the house, going with the theme of she picks it up and moves it, once a year, every couple of months or something like that, that everything had a way of being bolted down. Like everything is pretty much easy. It either sticks like a rug, or it's bolted down, or there's shelving to be able to put things, right? So things aren't rattling around, because the last thing you want is things rattling around when you're going down the highway. My family owned an RV for a couple of years. We went to Yellowstone and stuff. It was really fun. It was when I was in elementary school, which is primary school everywhere else in the world. And one of the things we continually learned was if it's not bolted down in some way, it will just leave. Like, we had shelving come out of the little wardrobe part. The fridge flew open and the mayonnaise went everywhere one time. It was a lot of fun, but you got really good at making sure everything was securely closed, latched, buttoned down, that kind of thing. I went with a really green theme with this build, just because I wanted something light and airy. And I've talked about this a lot, of trying to match the Sims sort of built-in aesthetic more. Trying to get better at that instead of constantly fighting it, because I definitely have like a different home decor idea than some of the Sims stuff, and then I get frustrated because it doesn't match. But that's not fair, because the game has its own art style, right? And trying to build within that art style can be a fun challenge if you allow it to be. So I've been trying to do that more often. So, and then the other thing too is with these windows, in my head, they're the foldy kind, so that they like fold all the way open, and then you could have like a little pass through, because the barbecue's out there. In gameplay, it means you have to walk all the way out the front door to go to the barbecue from the kitchen. But I liked the idea of it being a pass through. So, and the outdoor living is definitely like, you can tell there's a lot of focus on getting the furniture and stuff that will fit in the basement and work, because everywhere she travels, she has friends, so she wants to host, but her, bedroom is in her living room. So she does a lot of outdoor entertaining and stuff, and there's like a clothesline that could be easily folded up and put in the basement, and I think, now that I'm saying that, I think there's a fire pit that could be folded up. Like, I tried to make everything look like it could just slide under the house, and the house could be picked up and moved. And that was really the goal, and I really like that idea, and I really like how this house turned out, actually. I was a little bit nervous because I knew it was one of those where I had the interior and not the exterior. Sometimes that works out good. Sometimes, like the build I have going right now, I was trying to do sort of a mock-up of my grandma's house, and it looks okay on the interior. The scale is off, which is always annoying with real life houses, but the interior looks like it's coming out okay. And then I went to roof it, and I was like, oh god, it's a box. Which, when you look at houses, a lot of them are boxes, but the scale is better. It's really hard to get the scale right in The Sims for a box. And we put up with a lot of sins in real life that we don't in The Sims, like especially on like newer builds, just random windows on the side of like a blank wall. Right, because inside it makes sense. So outside it doesn't matter if there's 8 different kinds of windows on a blank wall. Nobody cares. Plant a tree. In The Sims, that doesn't work. In The Sims, we care about the aesthetics. Inside, outside, back, front, up, down, basement, what have you. And so that can be a little difficult. And so as much as I like the build I'm doing of my grandma's house in the interior, I have no idea how to roof it. That's going to be really interesting. I don't think the roof is going to look anything like hers, because hers is just like one long single peak, like a standard. And I don't think it's gonna end up working out like that, because the roof is gonna be like 4 times the size of the house. But I wanted to do it because with platforms we can actually do her sunken living room and sunken sunroom, because the way her house is, it was like a smaller house with a garage, and then they turned the garage into a living room, and then off the living room they did a sunroom, so part of the house is kind of sunk. It also is the weirdest bathroom in the whole wide world. The quote-unquote master bathroom, my desk is probably bigger than that, and it has a shower and a toilet and a sink. I'm not joking. There's no way to be able to do it in The Sims, because I bet you that bathroom takes up 1.5 Sim squares. Tiniest bathroom. So I'm 5 foot, just for reference. I'm 5 foot. If I use her bathroom, my knees hit the sink. I'm not joking. But anyways, she does have another bathroom that's like normal human sized. But the weird thing with that bathroom is the light switch is on the outside. And I have a lot of little mischievous cousins. So, a long story short, my grandma's house is a little bit of a possible death trap. But she's also got like really cool things, like the really cool like push button switches, and there's a lot of wood paneling, but it's okay because it's a grandma's house, And it's kind of split up funny because, like I said, they needed more space, the people before her, so they turned the garage into a living room, which is really nice. And it has a nice like fireplace and stuff that we can't use because it's gross, but theoretically, if you got it cleaned, you could. But yeah, I wanted to build her house because I spent a lot of time there, because before I had internet, halfway decent internet here at my home, I worked every day in her living room when I worked remotely, because she let me put internet in her house. In fact, I just recently pulled the internet out of her house because I left and it was not getting used, and I finally was like, Grandma, can I pull it? Can I stop paying a bunch of money for a line I'm not using anymore? And she was like, sure, I don't use it. But I might put something back in for her because she does occasionally want to check Facebook. And so I was like, I can put some, like, I had a huge plan going because I'm a software engineer. So I had one where I was like, lots of data, lots of speed. I don't know if it was necessary just for Facebook. That was a huge digression for a build that is possibly never even going to make it to the channel. All to say that this house also suffered a little bit where I was like, I don't know how to do the roof because I built the inside, didn't really plan on the outside. Like I had a plan for the outside because obviously I said like I wanted an RV park, but there wasn't a plan for the exterior of the house where I was like, I want a bump out here and I want a little box here, and windows here. Didn't have that kind of plan. I also did a little base game build, a starter house, and I have not worked with a budget in a really long time, and now all I want to do is like work under crazy budgets or see like how cheaply I can make a house. Oh goodness, I don't think those will make it to the channel. Those are just kind of fun for me, but realistically it's a lot of me staring at the house going, how? How do I do this? Oh yeah, and I put a big tree with lanterns outside because I imagined she could hang the lanterns if she wanted, but also I've been to a couple RV parks where they just have stuff like that. There's an RV park I say that this is post-pandemic. I don't know if it still exists. There was an RV park, I should look it up, called Jellystone in Washington State. And for those of you who don't watch classic cartoons, Jellystone is where, oh goodness, what's his name? Yogi, where Yogi Bear lives. It's an obvious joke on Yellowstone National Park, but Jellystone, and it was such a fun park, but they had stuff like that, like there was lanterns in all of the trees, and they had all sorts of fun outdoor activities you could do and stuff, and fun games, and like there was a dance one time, and so we all went to the basketball court and danced. It was a lot of fun. I highly advise, because they have cabins and stuff too, like find your local KOA or something. It's a lot of fun to go camping in like an RV park. But anyways, these are the screenshots. I really like this build. It definitely feels mobile, and that was the whole goal, and it's tiny, it's cute, and it's fun. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. I hope this build maybe brightened your day a little bit, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon.